So at the moment, the left are having a problem with free speech in America. And I mentioned on the stream yesterday, this is basically game theory. Specifically, it's the prisoner's dilemma that has been playing out in American politics and online and international politics for some time now. And the left have realized that actually, if they betray one side and don't uphold their side of the bargain, eventually through the iterative process of being stabbed in the back multiple times, the other side of the dilemma realize, well, actually, there's no point us upholding our side of the bargain, and so we're just going to do the same to them, and therefore everyone gets the negative consequence. So if you're not aware, the prisoner's dilemma is an old thought experiment in which two prisoners are in prison and there's not enough evidence to convict both of them, but if either one talks, then if one talks and the other doesn't, then that person goes free and the other person gets like 3 years in prison or whatever. And that happens on either side. If neither of them talk, they only get like the minimum sentence of like a year in prison or something like that. And if both of them talk, then they both get a high sentence, like 2 years in prison, something like that. And so the question is, do you stay silent or do you testify against the other person? And you don't know what the other person is going to do. So you run the risk of if you both testify against each other, then you're both going to jail. If you testify and the other guy doesn't, so you betray the confidence essentially, you'll benefit and that person won't. And if you both just accept it, you'll get the minimum possible penalty or punishment for what you're doing. And that basically has been the situation between the left and the right in public discourse. On the subject of free speech, yes, it kind of sucks if your opponents can just say whatever they want about you and about the things you believe, and it might hurt your feelings. You have to just kind of suck it up, and they've got to suck it up. But at the end of the day, it's better for everyone, and everyone gets the sort of minimum level of suffering. Or one person can decide, you know what, I know that guy's going to do the right thing and, maintain the proper perspective. And that means I can stab him in the back. That means I can get everything I want and he loses everything he has. And therefore, why wouldn't I do this? This is just me winning, right? And maybe in the single instance of that, that is a win for whoever betrays the confidence. But after the iterative process of decades now, about a decade of the left being completely against free speech in every way, the right is like, oh, right, okay, so we're against free speech. Everyone's against free speech. And if I keep advocating for free speech, I'm the one who keeps getting the maximum punishment and they get absolutely nothing. And now the shoe is on the other foot. Actually, how about we both go to jail? How about we both suffer? And in fact, in this case, in the case of Charlie Kirk's murder, the left decided to spout off thinking that they had free speech on the assumption that the right was going to play the prisoner's dilemma with them correctly and say, yeah, no, we just have to take the hit from that. And the right has said, no, actually, we don't have to do that. We can now betray you and you can just fucking screw yourself, basically, which is what it's come down to. And this is a great comic because it really does summarize the problem that has been going on for years and years and years, and the number of betrayals of the prisoner's dilemma. And it's got to the point where the right's just like, no, don't care. And the left are not happy about this. Oh my God, the US right claimed free speech was sacred until the Charlie Kirk's killing. Well, okay. Interesting, that. What's interesting, and this is representative broadly of left-wing thought on this at the moment, is we relied on you to do the right thing while we stabbed you in the back. We relied on you to be the dopey prisoner who decided not to testify whilst we completely betrayed you over and over and over. And my God, you're not letting us betray you anymore. We're all going to suffer. In fact, in this particular case, we're asking you not to betray us. And suddenly you're not interested in not betraying us. What happened to your principles? It's like, okay, it's just the irony of all of this, obviously, is that the left admits, yeah, okay, it's the right that was actually those people who were protecting and committed to free speech. And now they don't care. And it's like, oh God, that's fascism, isn't it? It's like, no, that's not fascism. that's playing the game as it is, frankly, intended to be played. Either you both accept that the other one shouldn't be portrayed in this particular way, or it becomes a game of tit for tat, and now you just don't like that the shoe is on the other foot. But the shoe is on the other foot, and why is it that the right shouldn't kick you with it? I can't think of a compelling reason, to be honest. We'll go through some of this Guardian article, because it's just remarkable, absolutely remarkable, watching the side that literally wrote articles, screeds, books, and complaining and arguing against the concept of free speech. Going like, well, I can't believe the right doesn't believe in free speech. What a bunch of hypocrites. It's like, well, I mean, I guess you're not being hypocritical. You are just evil. So anyway, they say, unlike in many other countries, hate speech is protected by US law unless it incites imminent violence or constitutes a true threat, but did not deter the nation's top law enforcement officer, Pam Bondi, who suggested that a print shop employee who refused to print flyers memorializing Kirk could be prosecuted. Right. So bake the fucking cake is what we're saying, right? Like, this was a free speech issue, and the left came down hard on the compelled speech. And they've had compelled speech for ages. Trans women are women, Black Lives Matter, all of these sorts of things have been examples of compelled speech from the left. So not free speech, not something that the right was happy with, but again, the dilemma has been broken. We're now in the position where we're just backstabbing each other until one drops dead, basically. And so, okay, well, now you're going to accept the right is completely in its own right to say, no, actually, you are going to bake the Charlie Kirk memorial cake, because compelled speech is a precedent that the left has set here. Anyway, Bondi walked that back because there were obviously there were lots of conservatives who were like, well, actually, we probably shouldn't be doing that, which honestly I do actually agree with. But still, the point being, I agree with it for my reasons, not because of anything to do with them. It's a remarkable turn from prominent American conservatives who, until Trump's return to power in January, had long complained of a censorious left-wing cancel culture, quote unquote. Well, I mean, we have been cancelled over and over and over and over by the left for reasons that, honestly, I think most people just viewed as totally spurious. And yet, here we are. The reason that YouTube has all of these sort of, rules regarding things that you can talk about, the sort of narratives you can talk about, is because when what's-her-face, Susan Wojcicki was in charge of YouTube, she, being left-wing, imposed a bunch of speech codes, which of course only hit the right. They didn't hit the left. And this was a massive issue. I mean, look at the amount of people who were banned from Twitter for various reasons, deplatformed for all sorts of thoughts, things they thought. And instead of accepting that part of free speech is just having things said that contradict your narrative, the minimum possible punishment for having the shared benefits, the left are like, no, just deplatform. Like there are people with huge platforms, huge channels, who just got completely wiped off the internet over really trivial things that seem really trivial in retrospect. I'm reminded of Dave Cullen, Computing Forever, because he wasn't happy about the COVID narratives, and YouTube's like, 500,000 subscribers or however much he had, that's just gone. No, you're not allowed to criticize the precious COVID narrative. I was like, oh, okay, well, that's just the way that goes. So why exactly, now the shoe's on the other foot, are you not being cancelled? Why do you think you deserve not to be cancelled? I mean, like in the wake of the Jimmy Kimmel firing, again, he wasn't cancelled. He still has PayPal. He still has Stripe. He still has all of his social media platforms. He still is going to probably be someone you see on television. It's just that his failing late night show was taken off the air because, frankly, it wasn't making money. And this was a good pretext for it to be done. Now they're like, well, I mean, I can't believe this culture has come for us. It's like, well, sorry, this is what you did. This is the world you made, and you've created millions of people who are genuinely furious and are happy now to be the ones on the other side of it, putting the boot in. And I love this. The left-wing cancel culture, they reframe that too as consequence culture. Well, who invented that term? Who invented that term? You fucking slimy pieces of shit. You invented that term. That was a term that was bandied around in like 2018 after people started getting cancelled for saying things against, like, Black Lives Matter or feminism or whatever it was, and woke nonsense. And they're like, well, it's consequences. It's just the consequences of your own actions. It's not the government censoring you. It's the private corporations. They can do what they like. This is consequence culture. I'm just so over giving a flying fuck about these people appealing to my morality as their shield for the shield for their bad behavior. Absolutely not. Absolutely not. I don't care. You get what you deserve. You broke the agreement. You violated the prisoner's dilemma. You decided, no, backstab, backstab, backstab. So one side gets the very maximal punishment. No, not on anymore. Not on. We're both getting the punishment now until you realize that was unacceptable and you fucking apologize, frankly. Take some accountability for yourself. Again, that's another... This isn't cancel culture. This is accountability is another way that they'd frame it. Nancy Mace, a House representative, sounded a lot like the progressives when she is often decried for their political correctness when she declared last week that free speech isn't free from consequences. Yeah, where have I heard all of this before? Free speech doesn't mean free from all consequences, despite what some conservatives argue, says NBC News back in 2019. Like, you made your bed. Roxanne Gay, cancel culture doesn't exist, but consequence culture does. Oh, you made your fucking bed. You can get fucked in it. You can get absolutely fucked in it. You deserve everything that you're getting right now. Everything. You totally deserve it. Back in the day, I was like, oh yeah, well, I actually think everyone should be online. I don't think people should be having things taken away. I actually think at some point in the future, there will be a kind of digital bill of rights, which guarantees access to certain platforms, regardless of who you are, regardless of what you've done, because these will be considered something of a human right. And until we get there, I'm going to in no way mourn for these people. You chose this. You thought you were going to be in the driving seat of culture forever. You thought you were going to have the power forever, but it turns out you don't. And now the shoe is on the other foot, the gun is in the other hand, and you're like, well, I can't believe this is happening to me. Well, I'm sorry. I can't believe you don't think you fucking deserve it. This is happening to you. And like I said, I'm in no way going to mourn. And until you realize that you have violated the prisoner's dilemma, and actually you're like, okay, we are going to need some kind of digital bill of rights, which again, people like me have been arguing for a long time. So even the worst people online, like Hassan and Destiny, get to keep that thing. So you notice Hassan and Destiny got demonetized recently. How does that feel, Destiny? Like he's hardly been kind to me when bad things have happened to me. And Hassan is just worried about being taken off the internet entirely. He's absolutely bricking it. And I'm not surprised, because they have been awful in every way, shape, or form. And so again, we can either have the awfulness on both sides and we'll just have to live, learn to bear it, or we both get stabbed, and then until one side decides, right, okay, I'm going to try and do the right thing now, and gets absolutely shut down by the other. Or we can get to the point where everyone's just having a terrible time. I think probably best to go for the first one. Right, the very first thing where it just kind of sucks. So that guy said that thing. Okay, I don't like him. I'm just going to click on something else and watch something else. Blah blah blah. But so anyway, this is one of those things. Many conservatives are now championing a public campaign to get fired from their jobs any Americans who made light of Kirk's death or disparaged him in his politics and death. Oh, what like what happened during the George Floyd riots? Like what happened during 2020 and Black Lives Matter riots? Sorry, get fucked. Just absolutely fuck yourselves. I'm sorry to keep swearing, but I am just so livid at the idea that these, and there's no point calling them hypocrites because they don't care, but these abject hypocrites are like, oh well, I can't believe it's finally happening to us. A load of people who I know and liked were affected by this. It's like, yeah, loads of my friends were affected by this. Back when you were merciless towards us. Absolutely merciless. And so I'm not even celebrating. I just don't care. I just don't care. You get what you deserve, and you deserve everything that you get. So honestly, like I said, I'm not in any way going to try and be like, oh, well, guys, maybe we're going to... No. Until they understand that the prisoner's dilemma of free speech has been absolutely violated, then they need to keep getting stabbed in the back. They need to keep finding themselves fired. It's just like they were doing to us. Until they realise that we're in this position now where everyone just does the maximal damage to one another that they are capable of doing, and actually that's not the most favourable way for us to exist, frankly, as a society, online or anywhere else, and they accept that we are going to have some kind of digital Bill of Rights, then no, keep going. They have to learn their lesson, and they're going to have to learn it the hard way. So, like I said, no sympathy from me. I would show you no mercy.